We are officially back for episode 4. Officially the first. I wish I would have counted all of the weeks before, but we're gonna start this a new series that we're doing every week. New market outlook. This is officially episode 4. Once again, for those that are new, welcome. My name is Abe. I every week I call out my setups, like my main setups that I'm looking for throughout the week for US 30, NOS, and gold. Yes, I have a Discord if you want to get access to my daily signals, daily trades. Um, and yeah, that's a quick intro. Today, y'all know the routine already. New routine, same routine, different day. We're gonna go over the news, see what we look for the news, and then I'm gonna get into actually the main pairs and what I want to see across everything. Last week I did some back testing over the weekend. Last week was pretty smooth. Um, might go back to another like OG strategy that I've taught in my academy in the past. I was like, you know what? I like how clean the market has been moving. Like getting back to just being more patient, being more disciplined on my setups. Um, Especially because lately I've been on my scalping journey. I've been having fun with the scalper side, but my heart has always been with bigger moves, cleaner opportunities, and just the more overall what I could see being like the more consistent strategy and long term. So we're not gonna talk about that in this video though, but this video, that's what I've been working on behind the scenes for my students. So without further ado, let me share my screen and let's get into today. All right, so starting off this week, remember I told y'all last week was gonna be like the last week that we saw the markets just kind of like chilling and not giving us like a lot of volatility. This week we are back to our scheduled programming. So we don't got no news for on Monday, no USD news. Let me be specific. For those that's like, oh hey, where's all your other currencies? I usually only focus on AUD and USD. I only look at AUD for gold because I know a Australian dollar helps move the gold pair as well during Tokyo, and then we had the U.S. news obviously for our futures pairs NQ, YM, and Gold GC. So no news on Monday. Market should be pretty chill. Tuesday we have consumer confidence at 10 a.m. We bet. Wednesday we have federal fund rates, FOMC statement. Quick nugget. Everybody always pay attention to the federal fund rates at 2, but the market really doesn't start moving until the conference. So if you're trying to trade at 2, you're trying to trade during Fed rates, I would suggest that you guys wait until 2:30 for you to actually look for your main setups or like a bigger move. Like you might be able to catch something at 2 o'clock, but understand like the real move is gonna come once they actually have the conference and go over everything that was like released to the public. Thursday we have advanced GDP, core PCE price index month to month. Like basically, as you can see, it's gonna be a nice clean week. This is gonna be pre-market, right? So this is gonna be pre-open. Thursday is gonna get started early before the main moves during opening bell, and then Friday same thing. We have news at 8:30, and then the U of M consumer sentiment at 10 a.m. Now, me personally, I don't really pay attention to like we pay attention to like what's our main news that's coming out. Like we know our main titles. Okay, what's the real news that make the market shake? As you can see, it's showing a red folder, but sometimes there are excuse me, there are medium news that are essentially red folder news too, but places like Forest Factory or like Bloomberg won't actually tell you like, oh, these are main high news. Except for you as the trader to do your own due diligence and understand like, all right, the pair that I trade whenever the U of M consumer sentiment come out, I can expect 150 points or 200 points move. Even though it's only showing like, oh, this is a medium news, I'm still treating anything medium like it's a red folder. Same thing with consumer confidence. Cool. It just depends on where we are in the structure. Now let's get into the week, right? Where are we for the week? We got Fed rates dropping, and ironically, I told y'all, whenever there is like the big news, like the big high volatility news is getting dropped, it's no surprise that we're at key levels, right? And these are like our moment of truth levels when I look at NOS. When I look at US 30, US 30 just looks so choppy. This week I'm ready for it to get clean. Like I'm looking at like where are we next to key areas, and when I pay attention to like okay, what's the news that's coming out? This is everything that always crossed my mind, right? I'm just always paying attention. Like okay, fair rate's coming. Where can I see gold going? Where are my main key price points, or are we already at these levels and we just have to wait for retest, right? Like these are all the different scenarios I'm thinking about when we talk about okay, we got volatility coming in. Where's the key targets that I know that they want to look for, or where are areas that you might not know, but like where are areas that you can see on a higher time frame scale that these pairs can come back to. So if you haven't guessed it though, starting off this week looking at Nas, it's so crazy. Like this is a beautiful buy run that it did. Beautiful. But now, where are we? We're back at that higher low. So last week I talked about a little bit how the trend line is getting tighter, it's getting smaller. It's eventually either going to break out to the downside or push up for the buys. Just off the sake of this week and what we're seeing right now, it started pushing out, but I'm not really a believer in this yet. So, come opening bill, since this is already the support, all I want to pay attention to is once price comes back inside the zone. Once it comes, really, I wouldn't mind taking buys down here, but we ain't going to do that. Areas of interest that I'm going to look for to retest to is back to this resistance right here. If we can get a full retest back to this stretcher and price fails to break out of this zone, right? And really it can come here and sell off, or like I said, my preference would be come full retest all the way to this high and then sell off here. So as far as main moves go, I'm gonna do two things. I'm gonna give y'all two setups, and then the rest I'm gonna put in the Discord. Main big move, if it closes above this zone right here, and that's, as you can see, that's a long time, but once it really closes above this zone, we can expect a buy push all the way back to this net stretcher right here. Stop loss will just be under this zone, of course, which is why it's going to be important that you wait for the close. As you can see, it's like right there. So we will want to see, eventually, we will want to see a push outside the zone, a retest back to the zone, and then a continuation back up into this stretcher. And this will be like my main TP target, and then also pay attention to where are the other resistance levels on the way there. That's going to be here, and then you can go here because this was a previous support where price push, it bounced off of this for the buys. So you can see here it came back to this price level again and pulled back. So this could be an easy target that hits TP and then starts to pull back before it looks for the continuation for the buy. So this is gonna be trade idea number one, main trade idea number one. Like once they finally break outside the zone, cool. First TP 1300, second TP 2600, final TP 4500 pips. Or my fault, 450 points. 270 points, and then 130 points. I gotta make sure I keep it up with y'all with the futures too, because I trade both futures and indices. Let me download this so I don't forget. Alright, that's the main move. If it never comes here, right? This be one of those like the safer trades, because if you chilling, you letting the market show you its move, you're not rushing buy entries, you're just letting the market come up here. But like I said, if it never comes here and it just retests up into this level, and remember, when it do come up here, let it close. If it don't close, this could just be a manipulation for the buys, and then the price can easily just dump again for the sells, right? For my students, I will talk to y'all about that in real time once we get up to this level. But for everybody else, if it don't even break out, cool. This is gonna be the sell play. So full retest to the high, fail to break out, immediate start selling. That looks so ugly. I apologize. Come on, mouse, work with me. This is going to be the net setup. So this literally, this flips. So this becomes our entry. I don't even got moved around. This becomes our stop loss. And then TP targets would just be technically right back to the low. Here, here, and why not put one right there. It's all about securing profit. So that's cool. 97 points, 2,400 points, 4 retests, 3,600 points. I gotta make sure I remember that too for when I actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna go by standard, because when I get ready to add the points up this week, I gotta make sure I ain't gotta worry about, oh yeah, how many pips did we catch for that trade? I forgot. And then it'd be worse for me because like I twin trade, so for me, I really be having, when I go back to look at my profits, I'm like, well, I can see the points, but at the same time, I'm doubling my reward. Alright, so this will be TP1, TP2, TP3, and then this will be a main, like we'll call this like our swing trade. when I give you these TPs, there are a lot of people that might think, oh yeah, I'm gonna just hold it all the way down here. Trade what you see. If it hits TP1, TP2, and TP3, and then it starts pulling back strongly, stop trying to hold for this move. Secure your winning trade, or at least go stop loss at TP2, right? So that way, no matter what, you already TP2 is technically like your base hit, so it's a win-win situation. All right. Try to think. Is there anything else I want to give y'all? So I'm gonna give y'all 3. So that's gonna be a main sale. I gave y'all the main buy, and then last but not least, I'm gonna give y'all one last buy play that's probably gonna end up playing out at open. In the real scenario, it's probably gonna end up happening. It's probably gonna gap up here and then push up here for the buys first, and then sell off. Now that I'm thinking about it, but hopefully it does gap down here, so that way y'all can take this buy setup. But we're gonna go buy entry here. This is literally the same setup we took, I think, last week. Buy entry here, 2 TPs. This level up here, and then this level. Simple. First TP 1500, second TP 3600. Alright, that's the last setup I'm giving for NQ. Next up, we're gonna go US 30. Told y'all last week, man, this pair just been looking. It's been setups, but two things. It's been setups really during London, and then early pre-market for 30. But this week in particular, I'm about to cook myself. This week in particular, I'm trying to find it. Let me see. There's gonna be 2 areas. All of these are lower high stretches. High, lower high, lower high. Potentially lower high right here. I want to see 30 push back down to this structure. And it's gonna be one or two things. We can look for a more safer trade. Will be once it comes back outside the zone, you can look for the buys. So like essentially, it depends. It just depends on momentum. This remembers I might give you a trade like right here at the support, catch that beautiful wick entry or bounce, and then but the more safer and more secure trade would be once it closes back outside the zone. So this would be like the official one. Like, all right, if you just wait for the close, so that way you're not even worrying about consolidation. You're not dealing with any mental battle of it's starting to range and fake push out. Once it come back above the zone, the buy should be good to go. And then we go. TP1 is gonna be 1200 pips. And as y'all can see, the market. Yeah, I keep forgetting I be setting this up on a 4-hour. So I'm like, bro, as y'all can see, the market is volatile. The whole time ain't even. Technically, it's still volatile. This ain't even that far. And this is already 120 points. Here. Let's go 26. It's about to be moving this week. And with that being said, what I say in I think episode 1 or episode 2 on volatile weeks, when we saw like last week it was like moving strongly, I'm gonna move the stop loss up too. Stop loss gonna be here, so that way you're not risking too much. But you're gonna want to either size down on your trade or be very particular about the entries that you take, because like even this is still 200 pips stop loss. So this would the first trade be a 1-1, then you go 1-2, 1-3. I'm going crazy. What 3-1? I'm tripping. But you like when it's volatile, when you know it's gonna be ranging a lot or moving strongly, size down, aim for the same targets. Especially if you don't got the capital. If you got the capital, then okay. But if you don't, I want y'all to start like making that y'all habit of protecting your capital. Alright, so this is gonna be entry number 1. Full retest back to the support. Actually, I'm gonna give y'all 2 entries. So I'm gonna give y'all this one. This will be the main one once it come outside the zone. And then the other one, like I said, would be right off of that support level. Wick entry right here. As y'all can see right there. Go to the left. Every time I came this level, bounced off. Only thing that would be a determining factor where you don't take this trade would be it has to be like if the momentum is pushing strongly. If you can obviously tell momentum is pushing strongly for the sales, do not take the buys right there. That would be a silly trade you're taking, because obviously it might manipulate and push outside the zone first before it decides to push back up. And why do I always think like that? Is because think about it. I'm probably not the only one that's thinking to buy it on there. It's probably going to be a lot of pending limits, pending orders right off of that support. A lot of people thinking US 30 going to buy right here. So if momentum is pushing strong, like let's say this happens during FOMC, market can easily manipulate and push outside the zone before it starts to push back up. But there's gonna be some crazy swing trade opportunities if we can get this 4 retest. So these are the different 4 TP options. I'm not even showing y'all to go based off of like coming all the way up here, but just here and here, these two are already fired. But you can see like this, by the time this entry to this TP is just a retest back to this structure. Same thing here. So these two are like I ain't gonna say a guaranteed smack, but you have a higher probability of smacking TP just off of these 2 trades. All right, so from here to here, boom, that's 1200. Easy calm. Like you're just, this is just a retest buy entry. If it retests and pull back, cool. And then it should go to the target this next level easily. And then this next level easy for a 700 point move. Like that's crazy. So just be patient. If you're patient, your study gonna reward you. If you're not patient and you're trying to chase it, you might get cooked. Next, I'm gonna give y'all just a simple sell setup. So let's say it pushes all the way up here. Academy students, I will give y'all on the way up here, if it does, and I can see it's clearly pushing back up here, I'll give y'all a buy setup. But for YouTube, I'm just giving y'all like the main moves for later in the week. If we can get a retest all the way up here, come back to this neckline, stop loss right above the zone again. TP targets, honestly, I don't even gotta move them, but I am gonna just go based off the standard how I usually do it. 1200 points, 1200 points, 120 points, 250 points, and then we're gonna go just TP 1 through 3. Because who knows, it might hit this and then pull back again for a retest. So secure your trade. If it turns into a runner, depending on where we at, cool. Set the last CP here. But for right now, this is gonna be the standard of what I'm giving y'all. Alright, last but not least, we have the one and only gold. Love gold, man. Love it. Alright. I don't want to really delete everything, but I'm gonna delete the entries and stuff. Don't need my MAs for right now. All this can disappear. So overall, we had a downtrend. Then we had a buy that came in and swept all these lower highs to come out for the 4 retest. So essentially, this is kind of like, technically, it won't really change the trend until it break this high up here, but it's already starting. This full retest was the start of a potential reversal, right? So here we have the pullback, strong buy pullback. What we need to see today, and yesterday, today we'll probably know, it needs to retest this structure, and it's probably going to retest here anyway because this candlestick doesn't have a wick. So we might get a full retest back to here, and if it cannot break this structure, then we're going to be looking to target buys back up to here, and potentially all the way back up into here. And now that I'm looking at this again, if y'all remember correctly, a week ago we talked about head and shoulders patterns, and this ain't even the main pair I use head and shoulders for. I really use it for Nas silent plug right there. What do we see? Overall big time frame. I could really go here. Left. Highest point, the head. I don't know what's up with me lately with placing these what's the names. Am I tripping? There we go. Head. Here go the right shoulder pullback. Once it comes full retest over here, this can play as a right shoulder for the downtrend. So it looks something like this, essentially. I'm gonna put a mental note for the chat too. Pay attention to heads, shoulders, neckline. And let's go ahead and put that inside the box. And I'm gonna move it to the right so I don't forget it. Alright. But yeah, so like that lucky, that'd be pretty fire. I ain't gonna lie. Full retest up into here, take sales around like 41.15. And then look for the continuation back down to the downside. Yeah, that'd be tough. I can't wait to see how that play out this week. So alright, so 2 things. First, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna give y'all main setup, main sell play. If it does come back up into here, sell entry, we're gonna go 41. Can my zoom move out the way? And I don't know what I just did. Alright, thank you. 41.21. Stop loss will be like, technically real stop loss need to be above the high or above that zone. And then we're gonna go TP1. like once again, like when I talk about like, oh, my main setup's what I'm looking for, like this is what comes to mind. Like if I had to be like, oh, I'm gonna wait all day, all week for this setup, cool. I will wait for this one setup, and I could be good for the entire week just off of one trade, just trading this, and it could really come full retest down here, but fire. All right, so this will be the main sell move if we finally get back up here. As far as buys go, I would love to see if it does for whatever reason sell off here. That would be a fire sell entry back down to this stretcher. We'll look for buys off this zone. And then same thing, really. It's really two levels here. I'm gonna give y'all the main one. Discord members, I will give if it bounces off this support strike, right? I'll give y'all like another buy setup. But let's say we go wick entry right here. It's so funny because like it really just come down to how it's moving. I'm gonna go here. We're gonna go 39.90. We're gonna go. I'm gonna let trade breathe this week. 39.70. That's a 20-point stop. And then we're gonna go our standard. Boom. 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 And then essentially this could potentially be a swing back up into here. Because now that I see that, I can see like the market pushing back up to this stretcher. So like when that time's come, I'll just give y'all the swing for that later on this week. But this will be the buy play. Full retest back down to the stretcher right here. It could come full retest all the way down here, and if that's the case, I probably would set a buy limit rate on 39.60. Just because we can see like this is where the wick. So like this trade in particular would be fun because it's like, all right, cool. Let market push here first. Once it starts creating higher lows and break back out, then we take the buys. That's why this setup will actually be pretty nice on the chart if we can get that. But it don't gotta do the double bottom kind of like this. It don't gotta play out like that. It can just break and then break out the zone. That will also be fine as well. And then last but not least, I'm gonna give y'all one more. And I'm trying not to make these videos too long. I see it's already at 20 minutes, so I'm gonna stop giving y'all all these trades. I'm trying to make the videos probably like 12 to 15. Unless y'all enjoy it. If y'all enjoy it, just like the video, let me know, and then I'll just keep rocking out how I'm doing. Eventually, I probably will introduce live market outlet sessions, so that way it can be like a day I can ask questions and stuff. But maybe I'll make that for like the premium Discord members. I'll come on live Sunday, Sunday opens and stuff, or like right before market open, and it could be like a Q&A day for y'all. I know I was gonna do that in the cohort, but we're gonna see if I actually bring that into the actual Discord community. If y'all say y'all interested in it, then I'll make it happen. Alright, 40, 40. We're going to go 40, 20. So let the market sell off at open today. Once it closes back outside the zone, simple trade. TP1, TP2, TP3. This will be it. This honestly will be realistically what could happen right at open. So market struggles a little bit, sells, come back here. Dang near could take buys off of the stop loss area. That dang near could be a buy entry, but safer entry would just be waiting for it to come back outside the zone again. Then you look for the continuation. If it turns into a runner, we hold the trade. If not, we'll leave it at that. All right. That is the end of this week's market outlook for episode 4. I was about to say something to y'all. Oh yeah, y'all have until Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to drop your rules for the challenge. Anybody that's planning on doing the Wealthy Traders Challenge with me, make sure you drop it in the Discord. If you do not drop it in time by Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you will no longer be able to join the 50K challenge for either Lucid or Top Step. And no, I'm not getting paid for this. I'm not dropping no promo link in there or nothing like that. This is just a series that I'm doing for y'all. So if y'all want to win the rewards, make sure y'all join the challenge in time. Y'all got till Monday. Really, y'all should be dropping y'all requirements today. But obviously, everybody got a life, everybody busy. So I'm giving y'all till Monday to drop it in there, and then we'll go from there.